Towards the end of this video, I'm going to read some actual questions that are sent to our Ask a Counselor part. Now, some of them will be from people who are actually using our online courses, and some will be people who are just asking questions because as a nonprofit, we like to take care of everybody with their marriage, and it's a free service. But before we get there, what we're going to talk about are she stopped these few things and her marriage changed and changed for the better. So people usually ask, what's going on? What am I doing that's wrong? Or what can I do that's better? Or what's wrong with my husband? Or what's wrong with my wife? And how do I handle it? So one of the top things that you could change in your marriage, you have so much power over, is asking yourself, how am I behaving differently than I used to behave? It's a loaded question. And people usually respond reactively and they say, well, of course I act differently. Of course. Our marriage has matured. We've been living together all these years. I see all his flaws. And I can't just sit back and just accept them. Well, this is one of the big things to change. And that is to, yes, accept the flaws that your husband has. And why do I say that? Why is that something? Well, marriage is a very different experience than everything else in life. Everything else in life, like when you go to work and picking up your kids at school, there's expectations. But marriage is not based on how we interact with one another. It's based on how much we love each other. You see, when you got married, you made vows. And most people don't really think about those vows afterwards. But the vows are, I will love you with all of my heart, mind, and soul. I will be there for you. There should be a vow like, and I'm not going to try to change you. So that is not a vow that women would be very eager to make, because women are always trying to make their home a better place. And they believe that if they could get rid of their husband's flaws, oh, if I could only get him to stop making noise when he's eating, if only I could get him to pick up his stuff that he leaves laying around, if only I could get him to come home and not just sit on the couch and watch TV, but to spend some time with me, if only, if only, if only. But the truth is this: your husband is not perfect. Your husband has many flaws. All of us have many flaws. And when we learn, and we're not taught this, so don't take this hard, but when we learn how to accept each other's flaws as a more of a cute part of them instead of a aggravating or annoying part of them, wow, your marriage is going to change so dramatically. Why? Well, think about if you're with someone, doesn't have to be your husband, could be like at work where someone's always nagging you, always complaining about you, always telling you how you could do something better. You start putting up walls. Isn't it true? You start putting up walls, and you don't want walls in your marriage. You want this. Do you know that marriage literally means union? And we're not talking about a union of personalities. I mean, you're a woman, he's a man. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the union between you and him as souls, because that's where the love is. That's where the action is, you might say. And so, how do you deal with this? How do you make this change? You make this change by being conscious of your inner reactions. And I cover this very thoroughly in the online course for women. because it's so important. You see, we're not taught to control our mouth. We're not told to control our mind. We're not told to control our moods. We're just not taught. We're taught you're fine the way you are. And we're not fine the way we are in terms of perfection in our marriage, and no one's expecting you to be. But what you want to do is you want to push away, you might say, the obstacles of love and devotion. And when you're critical of your husband and you're not holding back your judgment of him, you're undermining that love that otherwise, and this is really important to grasp, otherwise that love will carry your marriage to the most amazing, wonderful places of marital bliss. So that's what you want to change. You want to change your critiquing of your husband's flaws. Acknowledge he's got them, but start seeing them differently. Instead of seeing them as obstacles of happiness, see them, these are his flaws, no big deal. And don't be defensive anymore when his flaws seem like an attack. Just let it be. So now what I want to do is I want to read some real emails that we get. So you get a sense of how great we are and how we answer, because we're not the normal run-of-the-mill trained psychologists, although many of our counselors are trained that way, but we have them let that go because we don't want to approach your marriage from a psychological perspective. We want to approach your marriage from a heart perspective. I'm going to start with this one because this one represents, to be perfectly candid with you, this represents why a lot of women take the online course. It's because their husband, and here we see cheating in degrees. You have the men who are the husbands who are checking out other women all the time. You have the husbands who are getting into an emotional affair. You even have husbands who are in a full-blown affair. And we can help all of those. So this one is, and I'm not going to give any name, of course. So I caught my husband texting a few women and found that he was on multiple dating sites as well. We've had a seemingly very loving marriage with mutual respect. Obviously not. We talk, we laugh a lot, and do most all activities together. No bickering, no money trouble, many friends, and our kids are out of the house in their early 20s. He's asking for me to give him another chance. This is his second. I read your article, but I'm not sure what more I can do to strengthen our marriage. What can I do to make it better? I feel like we had been giving it our all. And this is not unusual for women to write in and say, what's going on here? We're doing everything according to your article and your videos, pretty much the way we should, and still this is collapsing. So this particular counselor wrote, giving it your all is excellent, but we have not learned to really give it our all. It is clear that your husband is not getting your all, or he would be content. There are two places most can improve: sexual increase and opening your heart so that your actions spring from your soul, not your mind. But the main place to start is opening your heart. Now, when we tell people, open your heart, they usually respond with, well, I am opening my heart. What the heck are you talking about? And the problem is that we are on cruise control in our marriages. And even though we say things like, well, everything is fine, the way it's really being said by most women is, everything is fine. Day to day, we have our ups and downs. But marriage is not meant to be this even-keeled sort of experience. It is literally meant to be ever-increasing happiness, ever-increasing love. But we're not taught how we are to approach this, how to cultivate devotion. And here it all begins with the mind. And of course, this is very thoroughly discussed in the course. And we touch on this in our books too. But if a woman is having trouble in her marriage to this extent, she needs more than just one of the two books that I've written. So what we learn, what we teach, is how to begin by watching your mind, watching how you react, watching all of the subconscious reactions. And typically what will happen is when a woman is starting to take the course, oftentimes what she'll do is she'll feel guilty, ashamed, or, oh my God, I really have not been loving my husband the way I should. And that won't do any good. We're not here to judge you. We're here to help you take the next step. And it's never too late. We have worked with women, way back. I started helping people in 2001. I was a divorce mediator, and a couple asked me to help them save their marriage. And we were in California at the time, and the word got out pretty strongly that I was doing this, partially because I was working with actors, actresses, and screenwriters. We were in San Diego, and so the word got out. And this professor from Yale in New Haven called me and said, my husband is already living with one of his students. He moved out, but I want to win him back, and I heard that you can help me. And I told her frankly, I said, listen, this is probably beyond, but we're going to pretend it's not. And we're going to do step by step until your husband comes back to you. And it was a challenge. I'll be honest with you, it was quite a challenge. But I learned so much of what to do and what not to do. All of that is part of the courses that came later. But we can save those marriages, and I think that's wonderful. Okay, so this one is from someone who signed up for the course. And when you sign up for the course, you fill out an intake form, and you're able to ask a question in that if you want to. And so Ruth basically said in her intake form, and one of the questions is, have you tried to repair your marriage? How and how long ago? That's a good question, don't you think? And she responded, traditional marriage counseling for years. Whoa. Dear Ruth, my first reaction to your plight was that if you have been in counseling for years, why are you now separated? It's one of the first questions is, are you living under the same roof? Why is your husband in specialized therapy? Obviously, what you have done not only didn't work, but has made your relationship worse. Years? When I started training counselors, that was in 2010, I got a group of very beautiful counselors. Again, it was San Diego, so they were the best of the best. And they started firing some of the counselors that I was training. And I would ask, okay, why did you kick Karen out of the course here? And Dr. Paul, he said, she's only in it for the money. She keeps people in therapy too long. I went, whoa, you're thinking like I'm thinking. So obviously what you have done not only didn't work, but has made your relationship worse. Years. We don't really promote marriage counseling anyway, couples counseling. It's not that effective. You really should be approaching it individually. But at any rate, She continued to write, "We are very clear that you cannot therapize your way to a happy marriage because marriage and therapy do not see eye to eye. Marriage is intended to bring an abundance of happiness and love." Yeah, that's what marriage is for. I talked about that before. And therapy delves into problems, feelings, past ideas, and nothing that brings happiness. We want you to make happiness and love your goals, and we mean to take you there quickly. And you go there quickly using the course if you sincerely want to remain married. Sex addiction? Is your husband a pedophile? Has he sought sex with your kids? Unless his sex drive is way off track, you and he should consider himself normal and missing the purpose of sex and marriage, which is to connect at the soul level. But so should you. We almost never ask for details about one's life, but in this case, the track your husband is on with a specialist is probably going to block any progress both of you want in your marriage. Not what you expected, is it? Because we want you on a quick path to happiness, okay? Because that's why you got married in the first place. And so that's what we're all about. We're going to close now. If you like this approach of questions and answers that are real, let me know in the comments and I'll repeat this again in future videos. Until then, like the video if you think it's helpful. Subscribe to the channel. And believe me, this is an unusual video. I haven't really done this before where we have done question and answers. And God bless you. Come back and take care. Hi, I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation. Been saving marriages since 2001. Now, what can we say about not giving up and not settling? These are two big deals that for your marriage, these are vital concepts. And they boil down to two things that we offer you. One are the books that we have. I have Lessons for a Happy Marriage, which is the first book that I wrote, and Breaking the Cycle. They're both great. Flip a coin as to which one you want. That's for not settling. Those books lay out for you exactly what marriage is all about. The guidelines, the intricacies, delves into communication, all the things about marriage that you need to know. And if your marriage is doing fine, but you just have this little problem here, this little problem there, but it's basically doing fine, don't settle. I promise you this, when you read one of these books, you're going to learn more about marriage than you even knew you didn't know, and it's going to change everything for the better. You will be so grateful that you took my advice and got one of those books. Now, the Don't Give Up. When I began, I was structuring, compiling all the marriage help that people need in order to save their marriage. I was a divorce mediator until 2001, and so I was fortunate that I was accessing a support group for those who were going to get a divorce called Second Saturday in San Diego, California. And so I was able to pull out of those sessions individuals after I told them that I could help them save their marriage who were beyond on the verge of getting a divorce. I'm going to say 95 to 98% of the people for whom I got a divorce shouldn't have, didn't need to, had they known what I now know. I took all of that knowledge and I put it into comprehensive courses, one for men and one for women. These courses, your course based on your gender, will bring you from the depth of the swamp that you find yourself in, out of that into the light, and help you achieve a marriage you never even dreamed possible. That's a promise. Now, what if you're not even married? What if you're going to get married and you're just looking around for marriage advice? In that case, and I actually created this for some friends, we have a premarital course, which is amazing. You'll never have a problem in your marriage. Well, like nobody ever has a problem, but you won't have any killer problems. You'll know how to be married to get the most out of your marriage. What if you're only dating? Then I have a course for you too. This one I actually created for my son, and it is a step-by-step process for you to attract your soulmate, and in the right way. I'm so glad that you found us. Please take advantage of that which we have to offer. We are here to serve you. I'm Paul Friedman. God bless you, and take care.